What do you mean? Oh, like use slides. Okay.
Yeah.
We should just rename it Roast Zone.
Yeah, we'll just have to do with that, unfortunately. I know it's not
All right,
ideal, but
that's fine.
it's all good.
Hello. Hi, I'm Bubba. So I was actually asked to give this presentation because I showed Russ my actual workflow through VIM, and Russ was really impressed. So he asked me to give this presentation to you guys. So I am Bubba. I guess I'm a third-year student. I don't know. I kind of transferred in, and my credits are a bit of a mess. So I think I'm third year. I've been using Linux for 6 years, and one of the many fun facts about me is that I actually learned Linux out of necessity while I was living in solitude in Alaska. I actually had to like build my own internet up there because I only had like access about 40 gigs of data a month, so I had to like, you know, grab videos and I don't know, it was really weird. Anyways, this is some pictures of Alaska in case you were like, no way. Yeah.
40?
So, yeah.
Is that broken?
So this is me actually. So this, actually, I can use them out. This is me at the Iditarod. This is me and my dog. This is my dog being a good boy.
That's a good boy.
Yeah. This picture, actually, I took this and then through a person I sent it to another person, to another person, to another person, actually ended up on the National Wetlands Wildlife Plant List, like on the front page, on the cover. So that was pretty cool. And like I said, I actually did live alone in solitude. So as you can see in this picture, if you look really closely, you can see the murderous rage right in my face. So, yeah. But anyway, so now VIM stuff. So VIM is not like any other editor. A lot of other editors are more text entry, like programs than anything else. VIM is an actual editor. VIM is designed for making changes. It is best used for making changes. Even provides its own language for making sure that those changes can be completed easily and efficiently. So, the good stuff about VIM, why you would want to use it, is that it's lightweight. Atom, I've looked at Atom, uses a gig of RAM every time you fire it up. Okay. IntelliJ takes 30 seconds to open. Has a battery mode. Has a laptop mode. Like, why do you need a laptop mode in an editor? I don't understand. It's cross-platform, so it's on Linux, Unix, even Windows. And once you use it, you can learn it. You can use it everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere. And you can make some of the highlights I'm going to be talking about is that you have composability using mnemonics. You have configurability, which is awesome and also terrifying at the same time because you can make a button just like RMRF your whole computer if you like. And then also scriptability because, you know, this is SPARSA, right? This is what we're here for. So first, a little bit about mnemonics. Mnemonics is basically just a language. Yes. Dude,
It can, unfortunately.
It can't.
That's the best we can do.
Yeah.
I just got here.
Well, you've been sitting here the whole time.
Closer. Mentally, you just got here. Honestly, why can't you make it bigger?
Because I have to run XR and R. Like, I run Arch Linux with i3, and I don't have like an actual graphical program to change resolution in my system, so I run XR and R and everything. Yes. Yeah. Arch World Problems, okay? Yeah. Look. I actually have, like, look at how beautiful my theme is. Like, yeah. Actually, I can, who said that? Oh, I'll show you something really cool later. You're going to like it. If you like cool themes, I got something for you.
Do your things have swear words in them too, like Joel's?
What? So anyways, so the mnemonics of VIM is like you have an action, a motion, and an object. So basically, you're trying to define what you want to do, where you're doing it, and what you're doing that thing to. And so these are examples of some of the motions that you can have, or actions. So delete, change, yank, visually select, indent, blah. Motions, all inner. FFTT is basically forward or forward including. Slash is search the exact whatever you want. Forward question mark is search for exactly what you want backwards. And then objects, words, sentences, lines, paragraphs, and all these bad boys down here. So anyways, so just with everything that's on this slide, VIM becomes a lot more extensive, right? All those commands that you know between, deleting and changing words and lines and how you're operating on things means that you literally have thousands and thousands of commands through memorizing like 5 things. I mean, and memorizing is a light term. Like if you want to delete something, you just have to remember D, and of course, everything you do is repeatable with dot, undoable with U, redoable with Control R, and you can also preface commands with numbers and repeat that as many times as you want. I think this is where I do a demo. Oh. So, anyways, so I'm going to just use some visual highlighting just to kind of show what's going on. Is this big enough? Can I make this thing bigger? Do you guys want it bigger?
No, that's good.
That's
Sorry,
good?
I can't quite read that.
Okay.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Let me put my glasses on.
Oh, there we go.
So like as an example, if I want to like visually select that first word, VIW. Oh shit! Actually, I got something really cool.
It's all really cool.
Show
Yeah.
me what you got.
Nice game. A little old, but good.
Does that? Oh, that doesn't show up because of. Shoot, whatever. Okay, so VIW. I've selected that word. If I want to visually select, inside of these double quotes, VI double quote, I can select within those quotes. If I want to visually select everything within those parens, VI parens, I've selected everything inside the parens, right? I can also change this with actual actions. So if I want to change this word, CIW, I've now have deleted that word, and now I'm ready to change it, so I can change it to whatever I want, right? And now this is actually repeatable. So if I went up to this word up here and hit dot, I'm using the dot register to repeat my action. So Vim knows that this is a word. Oop. I'm off the home row. So anything Vim recognizes as a word, it will change. Okay, so that's what's cool about Vim, or some cool things about Vim. You also have things like VIP, visually inner paragraph, and of course things like dip, delete inner paragraph, right? Holy shit, it's like magic, right? It's really fucking quick. What?
By default?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
This is all by By the way, this is all by default. Holy shit. So, what else we got here? Other things you have access to are windows, splits, buffers, registers. I'm not going to talk too much about these. Let's see if I can go into here real quick. So if I did a split, you can see I actually have split the window into two, and I can make changes in both windows. If I can also vertically split, so again I can make changes in all windows, right? You can also have different windows in different files in different splits, so you can edit it. You can edit all over the place. Yes.
What would be the practical use for splitting the same file?
If you're working, let's say, with a long file, right, and you are, you need to see something that you want to reference at the top of the file, and you want to work on something at the bottom. So, what else? Oh, I think I wanted to show Windows if I was buffers. I'll skip over that. So, the one thing I did want to talk about are the use of registers. So registers are like a clipboard manager. Okay, so you can put anything you want in them. So text that you yank. So when you Y to yank. So if you yank inner word, we'll actually save it to a register. But you can also use registers to put commands into, and functions into, and record things into, and make macros, and be even more efficient. So just as a general list of registers, this is your registers 0 through 9, which works a little bit like a queue. Basically, as you yank things, they get pushed down through 0 through 9. Stuff after this is, anything that's alphabetized is your user registers, and then some of these guys down here at the bottom are special registers. Like there's a black hole register and other weird things. So configurability, you can, again, make Vim do anything. Make Vim your bitch. So one of the cool things, like when someone's like, well, how configurable is Vim? This is my VimRC, as you can tell by the beautiful ASCII art I put in there. I'm going to make this smaller.
What were you procrastinating when you did that?
Life. I don't know. So just to show you guys, like, I mean, this is my VimRC. This is like 1,000 lines or something. Yeah. This is on GitHub, yes.
How many seconds does it take to load a Vim?
It doesn't take any time.
Really? Why?
Because I've optimized it.
Oh shit.
Oh shit. No, I don't. Actually, so I don't actually use Vim. I use NeoVim. That's not part of the talk. So it was just some handy ones I found that like will help you guys. Is like normal and no remap, which means normal no remap, which means do not absolutely. I'm paranoid. Don't remap it no matter what happens. Semicolon to full colon. Now what this is like when you go to write, you usually shift semicolon and then W, right? That's really annoying because you have to hold shift. Well, that's dumb. So why don't you just make it so that semicolon means full colon, so you go full colon W, just automatically every time. V-no remap, so like these guys down here, usually for indentation, when you're using the arrows. So you can actually visually select a paragraph. So you can visually select text and move it, right? This makes it so that you don't have to reselect the paragraph after every indentation you make. And then, of course, again, I talked about how dangerous it is to bind keys, or use other people's VimRCs. So if somebody wrote a really nice 1,000-line VimRC, maybe you don't want to use it. Maybe they have bound alt Q to RMRF your entire machine. So anyway, so now I want to talk about like scriptability. This is kind of the fun stuff. This is what makes Vim extremely extensible. So our first mapping is only going to use normal mode commands. Normal mode is like your change inner word, your yank inner word, change inner paragraph, your commands that you would usually be using just to move text around, or your mnemonics for your change. So as you can see here, I have this really nice like folding thing, which by the way, this is also built into Vim by default. This is folding on markers. But what I have also done, what I've done is I've changed how that actually behaves. So what I do is I usually call fold. Okay. What's great about this is no matter the language I'm in, Vim will know what the comment symbol is. And then why do all this? It would just be easier if I just tell you what this is. So I call fold. I do, what is it, 4LI and hit enter. Then I hit escape. I go to the end and I insert my first marker. So capital A would be insert at the end of line. And then I shift O, backspace, insert my second marker. And then I think my next one is, yeah, K2HI. And space. And I insert my fourth marker. I forgot there in my first one. Anyways, so the whole point about this is, what's really cool is that if I am here and I create a fold that I want to name SPARSA, if I exit out, go back to normal mode, and I call a different script or a different mapping that I've made, it puts me right at the next marker I made. And then from there, I can change, this is the numbering, and go here, whoop, some code, and go here and put back my numbering, and there we go. So like, just as an example of the extensibility that you have within VIM, this is a nice way to create folds within VIM. And you can see like, I've just created a massive mapping to all the keys I would usually be pressing anyways. So this is a easy shortcut. And then all my marker replacements are down here. You can see all I'm doing is I am searching for the marker that I've made using slash. Then I am deleting it. So this is part of the register, so I'm deleting it to the black hole register because I never care about that marker again. And then I'm going and I'm defining that delete is four columns over, 4 columns to the right. And then I'm calling no, which no is basically like if I was searching for this, it's going to pop up with a bunch of annoying highlighting all the time. So if I just call no, I just turn off all that highlighting, no highlight. And I can do that in normal mode or insert mode. So that's cool. What? No highlight. No highlight. What else do I have? Our second one. So I take a lot of notes within VIM. So this is a sentence I made that has a misspelled word in it. So I turn on my spell check. So as you can see, I actually am using VIM's built-in spell check. VIM, yeah, by the way, VIM has built-in spell check. Wow. So being here, I want to fix that word. So how would I do that? Well, so I mentioned it a little bit before, but one of the things you can do is you can set markers within text. So marker is prefaced with M, and then you pick a register, so I'm going to pick A. And then from here, I can use VIM's built-in spell checking, which is open square bracket, S, and it puts me right on the previously misspelled word. And then I can call Z equals and opens up a menu. This is a built-in VIM library. This is all built in, by the way. There's no plugins, no anything. And you can see the first one, first letter that we want is number 1. It corrects the word. And then to go back, I tilde back to M. So now I'm back. And I've fixed that word. So again, trying to make this quick and easy and repeatable to do, I wanted to actually record this and make this something I can call all the time. So I am going to do a recording down here. So you guys have probably done this by accident as you're trying to quit VIM. Okay, you're like, oh my god, what is it recording? I don't understand. Okay, so what it's doing is actually recording into a register all the commands that you type as you type them. So this is cool because now as I'm recording, I can to mark where I am. I can open bracket S, go to the first letter. I'm going to change our command a little bit to 1z equals to automatically just change it to the first spelling in the dictionary. And then I'm going to go back to where we were. And then I'm going to press Q to end our recording. And if you look in registers for, where's that recording that? R? Yeah. For R, it's right there. Okay? Actually, I think I was recording in Q.
So, what button did you press to get on the recording?
Q.
Recording mode?
Q. Yes. Q.
Okay.
Yes. So it's Q and Q. Yes. So what's cool about this is, again, Vim knows that I was recording those movements and like I want to do something with them. So if I enter insert mode and do a Control R, you'll see it has a double tilde that's actually referencing registers. And if I type Q again, there's the commands I actually typed. Okay? I think this one actually ended up a little bit short. I think I was recording into a different register, whatever. But from here, I can either simply map it to something that I can call all the time, or because I actually use this in other plugins that I write, because I don't know why I do that. I've actually made it an actual function within Vim. So this is actually teaching Vim something to do and making it a function. So I actually have a command where if I call leader, which I've set as comma, leader SF, it'll actually fix words for me. Okay, so that's pretty cool. But the reason it's cool is for our third one, which is how I take notes. I take notes that are pretty good. And as I was thinking about what I wanted to say to SPARSA about Vim and all that kind of stuff, I naturally open up a file, like a Markdown file, and just start writing. And so I usually write a lot of my notes in Markdown. And what happens is I have programmed Vim so that when I am in a Markdown file, okay, and I do a write, so only on writes does this happen, I call an external program named Pandoc, and Pandoc changes my Markdown into whatever files I specify. So in this case, I've specified it to make a PDF, this beautiful PDF, by the way. And then, and also I've changed it to HTML. So, and when I enter a Markdown file, it will automatically start up a web server for me and serve all my notes right through Python 3's built-in web server. So,
You make me feel bad about my workflow.
so, yeah. By the way, people love taking classes with me because when I'm taking notes in class, they get my IP address and they get all my notes anyways. So, anyways, other fun things. If you visually select text and do like a G question mark, just highlight this line and G question mark, you can actually rot 13 it just quickly and easily. I don't know why that's a feature of Vim. These are just like fun things I have I've found. So anyways, this is cool. This is the next thing I'm probably going to end up working on, which is I'm going to start doing making skeleton files. I hate like starting off a new file. Like I want to start learning LaTeX and writing documents in LaTeX, and I can never remember the actual like syntax for starting LaTeX documents. So in this case, :-1 read is a function of Vim, and then location to my skeleton file, and it actually will read in that file and put it into the current buffer I'm working in. So I can actually make a skeleton file. And then if I were to end this command at the end with like where I actually want to start in my document, I can make it, put the cursor there and actually start. NetRW is a really cool thing that's, again, built into Vim, where you can transparently edit files over the network. Something I haven't looked into, but I always thought was kind of cool, and like maybe I can exploit it somehow. Also, again, talking about how like you can use Vim anywhere. One of the things I hear about, like I don't want to customize Vim or use plugins because I'm afraid that, like, if I'm so used to using a plugin and I go to a server, I go to someone else's computer and I use Vim, then my plugins won't be there. And this is a valid complaint. But the problem is I actually have a way around that. Oop. So in here, I have an environmental setup where I am I'm using a little bit of Vim script, where I am asking Vim, does this file actually exist? If it's not empty, then grab all the things that I want, grab my plugin manager, and then the very next thing, tell my plugin manager to install all of my plugins automatically, and then exit. So whenever I go to a new computer, I clone my GitHub, my Git repo, I fire up Vim with a -U to my vimrc, and then Vim automatically grabs my plugin manager, my plugins, and configures it all, and then exits, and the next time I enter, I'm good to go. So, anyways, questions?
How can I be like you?
I don't know. By the way, I didn't actually get to talk about VimScript, but that's like VimScript function. If you are like, you can actually write, like, if you write plugins for Vim, it's written in VimScript. So it has some interesting stuff where you have like local variables, global variables, and you have to like preface it with like L : for local, G : for global. Yes.
So based on like the amount of time that you put into learning all this stuff, how do you feel like that affects, like, did you get enough out of it? Like, was it worth it?
Yes.
Think so?
So this semester is my first semester, like, I do everything through Vim. Everything. And I've decided that my goal this semester is to never work past 5 p.m. and to never work on weekends because I'm working so efficiently.
Wow. Is it working?
So far, 3 weeks in, yes. Although I have a paper I have to write this weekend, but that's because I procrastinated. Yeah. So.
What do we read to get this part? Like, what do we, how?
What do you have?
I want to not work on weekends.
It's a great segue. Did you plan that?
You just leave that one for a sec?
So, yeah, so you've Reddit RVim, okay? They actually just redid the entire subreddit recently. There's a great learning Vim script the hard way. So I forget the guy who authored it, but basically if you actually want to write Vim code, and well, not the code for the editor because that's all C, but like if you want to add significant functionality to Vim, you need to do it in Vim script. IBM also has a lot of great documentation on Vim, and of course help item. So whatever you want to learn is there just through help. I think actually if so like I talked about motions a little bit. It's like that's all here. If you want to learn the document, like read the documentation. I will say the documentation is long. I don't know if this is just internet folklore, but I've heard that if you were to print out the Vim documentation, like the help documentation, would be 68,000 pages. So, but I have read a lot of it. YouTube, there's a great channel called ThoughtBot. There's a guy who named Chris something or other. He makes some really good videos about like writing your first plugin or how to use motions effectively. Those are really good starter stuff. Anything Google, and YouTube, anything with NeoVim in the title. I don't really use Vim. I use NeoVim. So Vim, short version. Vim is 25 years old. It has a lot of like code in there that's just not needed. NeoVim is a modern fork of it where they are rewriting it with on top of libuv, which is nope, completely different guys. So they're writing it using libuv, which is what Node.js uses to be multi-platform. And then also the cool things is that it is multi-threaded. So Vim is single-threaded by default and actually has an event loop. So if you are writing or doing certain things, or if you use, like, for example, linters, like, checking your code as you type, or if you're using auto-completion that is running in the background, which you can configure. If you're doing that in normal Vim, it's doing that upon the event loop. So it can actually slow down like what you're doing quite a lot. So NeoVim makes it so that you can thread that stuff to the background. And then GitHub. Everybody puts their Vim RCs on GitHub. I didn't put this in here because I actually just wrote this slide like a few hours ago. Space Vim. Space Vim is awesome. If you want to, like, all the cool things about Vim that I've showed you today without any of the work, use Space Vim. Space Vim even makes it like, Space Vim even has achievements. Like, yeah.
We're rewarded for being.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So, what else? I think that's actually it. That's it.
So wait, so far I only know how to write quit. Would you consider me intermediate?
Yes.